r/NoSleep. Posted by you/oldboysenberry3076. It rained down here in my town of Blackwood, and those who went in it didn't come back the same. Part 2. There had to be dozens of them, all walking at a sluggish pace across the street, all in different shapes and sizes. Some were tall, some were short. Some were big and chunky, some looked like they could be blown by the wind. Some looked more humanoid, others more in the shape of animals. Yet they all shared the same defining feature: red. Everything about this had to do with the color red. And even over the rain, which was still pouring, I could hear screams. Screams of people, the people of Blackwood. I imagined the faces of the people as they screamed, mortified looks on their faces as the creatures cornered them, ready to do whatever it is they do to them. One scream I heard I was able to pinpoint at the house across the road, whose door was busted in like mine. I could even hear from inside my house with the window closed and the rain unleashing its onslaught the sound of some sort of struggle, with glass and furniture being crunched and broken to pieces. Then out ran a woman, whose name I knew as Janet. She ran into the rain, and close behind her was a red creature that looked like the mix of a snake and a centipede, which was about 4 feet long. Janet got about 15 feet before stopping, and getting on her knees, holding her stomach tightly. Then, she purged. A volcano of red fluid shot out of her mouth onto the black pavement of the road, quickly creating a red pool of blood. Then Janet was drained, and fell like a deflated balloon, joining the several dozen flail corpses that littered the street. The centipede and snake mix in the meantime seemingly lost interest as soon as the first droplets of blood exited her mouth, and simply scurried off, seemingly to look for more victims. But of course, it wasn't finished, for Janet's blood, just like Harold's, began to move. With Harold, I only got to see part of the transformation, but this time I got the full show. The blood began bubbling, hardening in some areas as the blood began constructing appendages, muscles, bones, and the formation of a creature. The best of which I can describe it as a 5-foot-long beast in the shape of a rat with a long tail, hairless, its ribs showing and spiked teeth coming out of its wolf-like snout. Then I whispered a sentence I had screamed several minutes ago. What the fuck is happening? The crunch and squirm of ligaments turned me around to see what used to be the blood of Harold. And I saw that the creature I had beaten wasn't as dead as I had previously thought. Its legs were twitching, even though its head was mostly squished in from the metal bat I used. Its legs were swinging in the air, trying to grab ground that wasn't there. In a panic, I went up to it and raised my bat up over its head. With great force, I brought the bat down, until I stopped it several inches from its belly. This blood, although it's not Harold, it used to be, right? I mean, even though that it had tried to presumably kill me, and that it was just blood, it was still Harold, right? My mind flashed back to all the good memories I've had of him, all the good times we spent together. We got coffee, we gave each other car rides when ours broke down, we gave each other comfort in hard times. He had to be in there, he just had to be. He used to be a regular human just a couple minutes ago, for fuck's sake. But those thoughts were interrupted when I heard something step into my house from downstairs, and a low growl echo through my household. Shit. I had to ask fast. I knew I only had a few minutes before it might find me. I looked around my room frantically searching for a place to hide, before settling under my bed, essentially diving under it when I heard the creature was making its way upstairs. I positioned myself face forward to see just a little bit of what was happening in my room, and held my breath as it took heavy steps and entered my room. I could only see its legs, and it was standing them. Its feet almost looked that of a dinosaur as it wandered around the room, assuming it looking for me, or for anyone. It stopped, and I swear it was observing the body of the spider, before it walked out of my room, and I let out a huge sigh of relief. And I realized too late that it heard me. The next 10 seconds, I heard the heavy footsteps, this time running, enter my room. I felt a strong grip grab my arm and yank me from under the bed. I felt cold slimy hands hold me by the throat and lift me up several feet of the ground, as I desperately gasped for air. And I felt it staring at me with its red eyes. I got a good look at its face. It was doll-like, with a smooth face and its eyes looking like buttons, with its neck craned almost as if it was curious. Then its face lifted up, and I mean literally lifers of its head, revealing a mouth with spiked teeth, and I felt as it started bringing my face closer. Its rusty breath made me gag as I kicked, jerked, did anything to get out of its iron grip. Desperately, my right hand searched for something, anything to use to get me out of this. It settled on the scissors that were on my desk. And when I was several inches from its mouth, I brought the scissors on its face. The scream I heard won't be the last of the wails I hear from the creatures. But God Almighty, will it never leave my mind, for its demonic screech moved both heaven and earth as it let go of me and grabbed its punctured eye. But its cries of pain were replaced with a cry much greater. The screams of rage. It charged, and in a split-second reaction I dodged out of the way, and the doll-faced creature barreled through my bedroom window, letting in the sound of the rain. I hear the sound of it thudding below my window, screaming in a mix agony and anger, and spite. It took me a moment to recuperate, as I got up and walked towards my window, and my heart dropped. All the other red creatures that had wandered the streets all stood motionless, staring at what I assumed to be Dollface lying on my front yard. But their necks craned and they shifted their gaze at my shattered window, looking straight at me. Then, they cocked their heads forward, and they all took the first step toward my busted-in front door. Fuck, fuck, fuck. I had nearly died fighting two of these things. There was no way I could take dozens of them. I was panicking, my mind crumpling apart trying to figure out what to do. Was I going to die here? I had so much to do, so many things I dreamed of doing. Only to be slaughtered by creatures made of blood? Hell no. The attic. The thought suddenly buzzed into my brain. The attic was just next to my room, I could hide up there and wait them. Oh. Crash. The sound of glass breaking in interrupted my thoughts, as I realized that they were also breaking in my windows. No time to think, no more time to plan, there was just doing. I ran down the upstairs hall to where the attic was, and pulled down the string to get the stairs down. All in the meantime I heard them stepping to my house through the door and the window, as well as climbing the walls. I got the stairs down and climbed them in less than a second, and began to pull up the stairs. And then the hinges got stuck. "Man, move, you piece of shit." They were walking up the stairs, slowly reaching the top and breathing hoarsely, the rust smell of their breath being able to reach me. The hinges finally gave in, and I began pulling up the stairs, before giving a final glance at my room, seeing the snake and centipede mix climbing though my broken-in window. I slammed the attic door shut, and was greeted by the darkness. I heard them wandering around my house, going into my room, my kitchen, breaking down doors in the bathroom and moving the wrecks. I heard Snakeipede, that's what I'm calling it now, crawling on the roof, on time going under the attic door. You can probably expect I was scared, more scared than I've been in my whole life. What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening? I kept repeating that same sentence in my brain over and over again. I just wanted it to stop. I just wanted them to leave me alone. Then I was confused. At first I didn't know why, but I felt something had changed. Nothing moved, no change in the temperature. I guess it was a little quieter, but it was quieter. I realized that was it, and realized why it was quieter. The rain had stopped.